Asagao Academy Normal Boots Club.
Wasn't that one hell of an intro, huh? What is going on, everybody? It's Rooks 2. I'm here with Sega Academy. This is a little something new. Little insight on this game. I was very excited for this thing to come out. It was been like 2 to 3 years, something like that. It was supposed to be on Steam, but you know they had some problems with that, so now it's free as an exe file. You can check it out for yourself if you like it, but how would you know that if I don't start the game? So I'm just gonna shut up and start it. Alright. I have no idea what this game's about anyways, except you're dating normal boots guys, and even hidden block if anything. So time for chapter 1. The train made its way along the gentle curve of the coast of Japan. Of course it's in Japan. When isn't it in Japan? Whisking me farther and farther from home. Across from me sat a boy, face half buried in a newspaper. He was deeply entranced in whatever article he was reading and hadn't spoken a single word to me, even when I asked if I could join him in the last compartment with any available space. He shrugged, nodded, and adjusted his newspaper without ever making eye contact. It had been at least an hour, in fact, and he hadn't once looked at me. Devoid of conversation, I took instead to counting the buttons on the prestigiously lush carmine seat cushions. 1, 2, 3, 21, 22. That's a lot of buttons. And so forth, over and over. Now and again I turned to look out the window where the trees were blurring by. Sometimes the smeared green would break and reveal the quiet blue of the Sea of Japan. Eventually this rapidity made my stomach churn, and it went back to counting the buttons on the seat cushions. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that was it. The train compartment shuddered around us. My eyes wandered to the boy and his jacket. It wasn't the school-issued blue that I and the other students on the train were wearing. Instead, it was a green varsity-like jacket with an embroidered patch poorly sewn on the front. So, you're first year then. Hey, I know that face. That's Jared. That's Pro Jared. From Normal Boots. Obviously, I just said that in the beginning. He folded his newspaper neatly, set it in his lap, and looked at me with a half-interested gaze. I want to say glaze there. Did he just catch me staring? Now that the paper was gone, I saw his face. He watched me through heavy-lidded eyes. His hair was immaculately groomed, his teeth straight and blindingly bright. Can't really see his teeth there, but okay. There was something about him, the way the light hit him, that made him look like he was almost sparkling. Me? Okay, Jared, never laugh at me like that again. He glanced around the compartment, empty besides us, and laughed. Oh, no, I'm not a first year. I'm a third year. The train began to slow, metal wheels groaning against metal tracks. The sudden shift threatened to rob me of whatever was left in my stomach, but I closed my eyes and took a deep breath, willing myself to keep it together. What kind of impression would I leave, pucking on a student before I even arrived at the academy? The boy frowned. I picked at the hem of my cotton skirt. That's not possible. I've never seen you before. It took me a moment of mouth fishing to find a response. It's because I'm a transfer student. He laughed again. A transfer student, huh? We don't get many of those. I removed my acceptance letter from the front pocket of my uniform. The paper, heavyweight, off-white, had accumulated creases from my reading and rereading, as if the words might have changed since the last time I read them. The boy took it, studied it, and handed it back to me.
I'll see you around.
I bet you would. Well then, Anna, I suppose I'll see you around. He smiled at me as he picked up the suitcase lying next to him. By the time I hiccuped a response, he was already gone from the compartment. I stared out into the empty hallway of the train. It was then that I realized he, having gotten it from my acceptance letter, knew my name and I never got his. The train settled at the station. I filed out with the rest of the uniformed students. It was early April, and the last frost of winter had come and gone. The trees were already green, the leaves shivering in the occasional gust weaving through them. The air was mild, only a few clouds hanging in the sky. I walked along the road with a swarm of blue-jacketed bodies, looking at the little groups breaking off from the crowd. Everyone was buzzing so animately around me. I held my suitcase tight in my sweaty hands. It was leather-bound and worth more than anything it contained. It wasn't far to the school, and I was, for maybe the first time in my life, thankful that what I owned didn't amount to much. My school issued black Oxfords click, click, clicked on the pavement. I walked this over and over in my mind. So many nights I lay awake, imagining what it would be like to walk from the train station to Sega Academy this first time. My new start. I always imagined that everything would change for me on this walk, that somehow everything would be magically different. But as I looked around, I realized nothing had changed. I hadn't changed. By the time I reached the massive gate to the academy, I forgot all about the disappointment slouching in the back of my throat. The school, framed by the gate's twisting black metal, was just as beautiful as the glossy photos I saw in its pamphlets. This was it. Sega Academy. I glanced around. The swarm of students gathered around the gate. Beyond it, tiny blue people bounced around the academy's main building. A girl pressed a button to one side of the gate. The excitement in the air was almost palpable, however you say that. Grammar's not a good thing for me. A few moments later, the black gate, with great effort, creaked outward and cleared the pathway. As the rest of the group shifted into motion, I followed along, a sheep in the herd. My stomach tied itself into knots. The crowd split off into different directions. For a moment, I panicked. "Oh, hi, who the hell are you?" A tired-looking man with graying hair called out for first years. A cluster of fresh-faced students gathered around him. Hey, look at that girl." I turned. A few feet away, a small group of boys were pointing at me, snickering. "Pink hair? Are you kidding me? How desperate can you get?" Hot shame crawled down my neck. I attached myself to a group of girls, following a few steps behind them. In the distance, cicadas hummed in time to my shoes crunching against gravel. My hair? It wasn't my fault that my hair looked like this. Luckily, I found myself at the girls' dormitory, a large sign on the lawn reading, "Primrose House." It's like Primrose Everdeen from the Hunger Games. That was a terrible reference, ladies and gentlemen. I am sorry. The building dwarfed me in size and sheer intimidation. How many students did Asagao have? As I approached the building, a red-haired girl lingered nearby, caught my attention. I looked away, then looked back. She was staring at me. She walked over.
Oh, you must be my roommate!
Yeah, I guess I am. I eyed her warily. She was smiling and bouncing in a way that suggested her views on life were akin to perpetual, bouncy castles.
What?
Me?
Bingo.
Of course, you silly. Let me guess. Room 325. I thought back to the paper I received a month prior with a list of all the supplies I needed for the year. And my dorm arrangements. Yeah, that's right. She laughed, but I couldn't figure out what was so funny. Was she laughing at me? When I found out my roommate was a transfer student, I knew you were going to be a total main character. I'm sorry, a what?
Mm-hmm.
When I saw you outside the gate, I knew it was you. I mean, look at that hair. I felt a lump forming in my throat. What was she talking about? She had to be making fun of me. I hadn't spent more than 5 minutes on campus and I was already being mocked. My hands began to tremble. Is there something wrong with my hair? Her face slackened from its amused smile to a more worried expression. Then she began to laugh again.
Oh, no. It's great, I'm sorry.
Love that limited voice acting.
We're getting off on the wrong foot, aren't we? Oh, gosh. I'm Mai Sasaki. You must be Hana.
Yeah? I bowed my head.
Hello.
It's nice to meet you, Mai. All your school books are waiting in our room with your welcome letter, and I read the envelope. I hope you're not mad. Mai started walking toward the dorm's front door. I followed behind like a lost puppy. Did you check in at the front desk already? No, I didn't. I didn't know I was supposed to. Good. They'll offer to have a staff member give you a tour on the campus, but I can show you around. We don't get many transfer students in year 3, you know. Oh, is that your only bag? Just the one? I'm glad I brought an extra bag of stuff to decorate our room with. I started already. I hope you don't mind. But I did wait to string the lights. I thought we could do it together, you know. She spoke quickly, the words bubbling from her mouth, and left me no time to answer until the end of her monologue. Yeah, okay, that sounds good. She held the front door open for me, and I hurried inside. Oh god, the pink! Oh, so much pink. That's a lot of pink. God, I can only imagine what the dude's dorm looks like. Jesus. That's very pink. What's so funny is you guys are experiencing this with me. That is extremely pink. That's a lot of pink. Okay, let's just keep going. Girls filed up and down the hallway, howling greetings and exchanging vague niceties that were, most often than not, how was your break, and look at how tan you got. It seemed like everyone knew each other. I followed Maya as she led me through the maze of students, up 2 flights of stairs. Each dorm floor looked the same as the last, narrow white doors lining both sides of the pale pink walls. Thin gold numbers were tackled to the front of each, the number rising as we climbed. You're not missing anything with the campus tour, I promise. Mr. Saitomo does them every year, and he's, like, totally dull. He just drags you around the entire campus and talks in that weird squeaky voice of his. I'll tell you everything you need to know. I smiled, trying to let this calm my nerves. Thanks. We headed down a hallway on the 3rd floor. Mai stopped in front of a door numbered 325. Here we are. Oh wow, that's even more pink. That's more pink. And then there's the bunny. Whoever these guys are. This is definitely a girl's room. Okay, I think as the first episode goes, this is where I'm just gonna end it. so far, very interesting. It's catching my attention. But other than that, I guess we'll just find out in the next episode. But if you guys enjoyed it, give it a like, give it a subscribe. If you want to do some research, go check out Normal Boots or Hidden Block in that case, because they're both of those guys are in them. And basically what they are, they just do games. If you like games, like either talking about them or playing them or just, you know, analyzing them, you'll love them, trust me. But as always, I will see you guys in the next episode. Peace. This is definitely questioning my masculinity. Jesus.